Our final lesson in Chapter 2 is 2.7, Inverse Functions. In this lesson, we'll graph inverses and we'll determine them algebraically. We will not use the horizontal line test. Inverse functions are defined when ordered pairs interchange the first and second coordinates. Inverse functions are written with function notation, so f and then inverse of x. So just like a little exponent looking kind of notation. The graph of inverse functions are the reflection over the line y equals x. When we draw these graphs, we'll draw in that reflection line as well. We're asked to graph f of x equals 2x minus 3, and then we'll graph the inverse. The first thing you want to do is graph the line y equals x, that reflecting line. The graph of the line y equals x has matching coordinates for x and y. For example, when x equals 0, y equals 0. When x equals 1, y equals 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, and so on, all the way up to positive infinity. If x is negative 1, y is also negative 1, negative 2, and so on, all the way to negative infinity. And we're going to draw in this reflecting line using dashes. So there's our line y equals x. To sketch the graph of f of x equals 2x plus 3, I'm going to make a table. And the reason I'm making a table is more so for the inverse. I'm going to create values for x to plug in and determine what y should equal. It's always good to start with the y-intercept. So that means I'm going to plug in 0 for x. If I plug in 0 for x, 2 times 0 is 0, minus 3 would be negative 3. I'll plug in 1. 2 times 1 is 2, minus 3 would be negative 1. I'll go out a little bit further, I'll plug in 3. 2 times 3 is 6, and 6 minus 3 is positive 3. I'm also going to pick a number on that left-hand side when x is negative. I'll pick negative 1. 2 times negative 1 is negative 2, minus 3 is negative 5. So let's go ahead and plot the points and sketch the graph for f of x equals 2x minus 3. We have 0, negative 3. We have 1, negative 1. 3, 3 over on the right, and then negative 1, negative 5 on the left. So notice we can even draw in 2, 1. That would match up, well, maybe. That would match up with the slope of our line, being 2. If you connect all the dots and go up through the top and bottom, there's our original function. Now to graph the inverse, because it's the reflection of the line y over x, we're just going to switch the coordinates around. And that's why we want the table. It's easiest to switch the coordinates that way. So literally it's just going to look like this. Instead of 0, 3, we're going to flip them around, or excuse me, 0, negative 3. We'll flip them around to get negative 3, 0. 1, negative 1 will be negative 1, 1. Uniquely enough, 3, 3 will stay 3, 3. And then negative 1, 5 would become negative 5, negative 1. Now let's go ahead and plot these 4 points. Negative 3, 0 over on the left, negative 1, up 1, and then all the way over to 3, 3. Last but not least, negative 5 down to negative 1. If we connect these dots all the way from left to right, do you see how the red would be the reflection of the blue over the line y equals x? So now what we'll do is after we graph, we'll determine how to algebraically find the equation for that inverse line. To determine how to create the equation for the inverse algebraically, we're going to follow these basic steps. The first thing you're going to do is replace f of x with y. So instead of f of x equals, we'll have y equals. Then what we'll do is we'll switch the x and y coordinates around, just like we did in our table above. From there, to create that linear inverse, we need to get y by itself. So now we'll solve for y. Make sure to simplify here and reduce fractions, all that kind of steps we follow as we work on solving. So always simplify. And then step 4, write your inverse. Instead of with y, we'll write it with f inverse. We'll use that notation. Here's what this will look like. Remember, f of x originally was 2x minus 3. That's the original equation that we graphed. So the first thing that we'll do is we'll replace f of x with y. So that's step 1. It's really pretty easy. Step 2, we'll switch x and y around. So instead of y equals, we'll have x equals. Instead of 2x minus 3, we will have 2y minus 3. That step's pretty easy too. Step 3, solve for y. So now we actually want to get y by itself. To do that, we need to move the 3 over, and I'll move that 3 over by adding it to the other side. X plus 3, they aren't like terms, so we will just keep that sum, equals 2 times y. To get y by itself, we'll divide both sides by 2. And technically that x would have a coefficient of 1 in front of it, so 1x over 2 would be a slope of 1/2. Plus, the y-intercept is technically 3 over 2, so that would be 3/2 or 1.5. And then step 4, our final step, to write this in inverse notation, we're going to have f inverse of x equals 1/2 x plus 3/2. That is the equation of that inverse line in blue up above. So let's go back and take a look at that line. Whoops, not that line. Let's go back and take a look at that line f, or inverse of x. So we said it has a slope of 1/2 and crosses the y-axis at 3/2. So as we look at the picture, it looks like I'm a little bit too low for my y-intercept of 3/2. That would be 1.5. But my slope is up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2. So the slope matches. This is just to verify that the equation that we got matches with the picture, with the picture on our graph. And we pretty much got it spot on. So that's writing inverses algebraically. And this is our focus for lesson 2.7.